Michael Vick makes his return to the Eagles this afternoon. Started the first 5 games of the season, missed the last 2 on a 56-degree afternoon in Philadelphia. Chip Kelly in his first season as Eagles head coach, 23 years in the collegiate ranks. He was offered a job by Tom Coughlin back in 2006, elected to stay at the University of New Hampshire. Giants coming off their first victory of the season Monday night against the Minnesota Vikings. The Giants have won the toss, will receive, so Alex Henry will get things started. Jarrell Jernigan back deep for the Giants, and we are underway in Philadelphia. Second meeting in 4 weeks between these NFC East rivals. Eli Manning and the Giants will start from their own 20-yard line.
Now, a lot of mistakes by this Giant offense during the course of the year. A lot of that the responsibility of Eli Manning, but there's a lot of other factors playing into this, and one of the things you have to do when you start the season, start a football game, number one, don't beat yourself. And too many times this season, the Giants have not followed rule number 1.
Michael Cox, the starting running back, rookie out of UMass. Brandon Jacobs inactive today. Giants throwing out David Wilson. Their pass goes shifting on 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. This is Cox. We will see a lot of both Cox and Peyton Hillis this afternoon as we take a look at the Giants offensive line with Jim Cordell now starting at center for the injured David Moss.
Yeah, and you heard Tony talk about this group not gelling yet, and that's going to be the key to this. And I like the start of the game. I thought what they did against Minnesota that was helpful was having a commitment to the run. There was not a lot of success statistically in that game, but there was a presence in their run game.
John Connor, the fullback, lined up in front of Michael Cox. Second down and 7. It is Cox again. And this time he is hit initially by Michael Kendricks. So Cox loses a couple. It will be 3rd and long. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Giants.
Well, we focused a lot on all the changes on the offensive side of the ball for the Philadelphia Eagles, but it's also been the same for this defense, going from a style of defense that was upfield and penetrating to a completely opposite style. They have taken steps week to week and have gotten better every game.
Peyton Hillis checks in. 3 wide receivers set, plus the tight end, Brandon Myers. Manning on 3rd and 10. Complete to Jernigan. Tries to break free and fights his way close to the 30-yard line. It will depend on the spot.
Well, you got the protection, but here's another detail. Jarrell Jernigan coming out of here. Watch where he stops. You got to get to the 30-yard line. And as you come back to get that ball, you bring yourself back short of the 1st down. So just the detail. Get beyond that 30-yard marker, so when you do come back to the football, if you catch it and you're tackled immediately, you've got the yardage for the 1st down.
Stopped just short by Brandon Boykin. So the Giants will punt it away. Deshaun Jackson has not been used much by the Eagles on punt returns this season. He has 2 career touchdowns on punt returns. Will not get an opportunity here. Terrific field position for the Eagles as Weatherford shanked that one, and the Eagles will take over at their own 41-yard line. Only a 30-yard punt.
A lot of wind down here on the field right now, Kenny.
Yeah, you want to keep the ball away from Deshaun Jackson, but I don't think that was the intent for Steve Weatherford, Goose.
No, so here
I don't
comes
think that was either.
Michael Vick, Goose, as the Eagles will start from their 41-yard line. Eagles 3rd in the league in offense, averaging over 400 yards per game. They were held in check by the Cowboys last week. With Nick Foles making the start. Foles out with a concussion. Incomplete to LaShawn McCoy, and he's forced out of bounds by Terrell Thomas after a gain of just 1.
The New York Giants said the pace of play did not impact them. They felt like though they could match Philadelphia after that game, and they were very confident coming into this game. We'll see how this starts out with Michael Vick in there as the pace of play picks up.
Eagles ran 77 plays in that first meeting with the Giants. Here is McCoy, and it is John Beeson making his 3rd start at middle linebacker who wraps up the NFL's leading rusher.
Well, they really burst onto the scene. That opening game that Monday night against Washington, how explosive this offense looked, but defenses are starting to figure it out from week to week. They're seeing things, trying some different schemes defensively.
3rd down and 6. Eagles must get to the Giants' 48. Vick, a couple of pump fakes. Now he throws. It was intended for Selleck, and it is picked off. So Vick on the Eagles' opening possession turns it over. Now a late flag with the Giants celebrating excessively following the interception by Roll.
The ball is thrown behind Brent Selleck. He never even sees it. Antrell Roll with the interception, but you got to be smart. It's a turnover. You're trying to generate momentum.
The ruling on the field is the ball was intercepted. After that interception, unsportsmanlike conduct for an illegal group demonstration on the intercepting team. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced. 1st down, Giants. Timeout.
That's going to drive Coach Coughlin crazy.
No doubt.
Game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Go back and take a look at the interception by Michael Vick. First off, the Giants continuing from last game, getting some pressure on Michael Vick. He steps up, but I don't think Brent Selleck ever saw this ball thrown to him. You watch number 87 coming off the line right here, Jaquan Williams, and he's kind of looking the other direction, and there goes the ball right past him. Antrell Roll makes the interception.
But then the Giants lose 15 yards. Flag for the group celebration. So they start from the 21. Hillis in the backfield. Manning with time. He fires, and the catch is made by Victor Cruz out to the 27-yard line for a gain of 6.
Eli looks pretty comfortable in that pocket right now, Darryl. One thing that I think he struggled with, maybe up till last week a little bit, was confidence. And I think that he's, he looks pretty confident right now in the pocket. And the offensive line's doing a pretty good job of protecting him.
Yeah, not confidence in his abilities, confidence in those guys up front. He's been knocked around quite a bit this year, and I think some of those interceptions are caused by his lack of confidence in the guys up front.
Play clock winding down. On 2nd and 4, this is Cox. Cox out to the 29-yard line.
And there's so many different reasons why this offense is struggling at this point. We've talked about the offensive line, but also the running back position. We've had so many different combinations. There's Michael Cox going out. It's Michael Cox and Peyton Hillis today.
Hillis, 18 carries in his Giants debut on Monday night.
And you can see there, that's what I mean when I say not a lot of production, but there was a presence. Only 2 yards per carry, but you had to respect that run.
Also 5 receptions. He was good in pass protection. Manning on 3rd down, complete to Hakeem Nicks, who has certainly come under scrutiny these last couple of weeks. He catches the first ball thrown his way this afternoon.
And this is a good start because a lot of people have been talking about maybe not the chemistry that we've seen in the past. There's that back shoulder throw. So Eli Manning still has the confidence to get it into that tight area that Hakeem Nicks is going to go up, compete, battle, and make those catches in tight coverage.
Eli Manning, now the Giants' all-time leader in career passing yards, as he surpasses Phil Simms. New set of downs for Manning and the Giants. From the Eagles' 49-yard line, good cutback by Michael Cox as he cut to his right and picks up 9, close to another Giants first down.
And that's one of the things that I want to see from Michael Cox. When he makes his decisions, he's making them down the field. Even if it's a cutback angle, he's still going north and south. A lot of times he gets caught going lateral to the line of scrimmage. You've got to avoid the negative plays in the running game. The best way to do that is just get north and south as quick as possible.
Cox out, Hillis in, 2nd down and 1. 3 wide receivers set. Giants look to capitalize following the interception thrown by Michael Vick. Manning on 2nd and 1. Loads of time complete. It's Cruz. for Giants first down to the Eagles' 22-yard line. Victor Cruz, the Giants' leading receiver, gains 18.
And David Deal doing a good job in protection right here. Maybe loses a little bit at the start, but continues to stay in there in battle. That position, the leverage. Right now, you know, he's not in the greatest spot. Clifton Geathers is kind of under his pads, but he continues to battle and work for better position.
Manning starts the game 4 for 4. He's hit 3 different receivers. From the Philadelphia 22-yard line. Manning looking to set up the screen, but it did not fool the Eagles. Hillis, the intended receiver, first incompletion for Eli Manning.
Defensive line does a nice job of going and sniffing this little screen out. Keep an eye. Eli Manning's trying to go and set up the screen with a little bit of a play action. They do a nice job of just keep coming. I mean, a lot of guys, defensive tackles, if you're the first guy in there, Connor Barwin does a nice job of just keep coming at him, put the pressure on him, force him into a bad throw. That's exactly what he did.
The screenplay has not been their friend this year, Tony. Kevin Gilbride told us, because we've had 3 interceptions on screen passes during the course of the season.
Including a big one opening night against Dallas. Giants just get the snap away on the slant. It's Nix, his second catch. But he is met immediately by the right corner, Cary Williams. So Hakeem Nicks, contract year, dislocated his finger prior to the start of the season, and coming into this game targeted 55 times, but only 27 receptions plus the 2 today.
Yeah, it's been a difficult year, up and down, though. It's had a couple of big games, one of them being the last time they played Philadelphia. So off to a start. Sometimes receivers are confidence players as well. You get off to that good start, your confidence builds throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, he had a great game against Philadelphia 3 weeks ago. Now 3rd down and 10. Manning to the end zone looking for Nix. No flags. Cary Williams once again, the former Raven, with the coverage on Hakeem Nicks.
One-on-one on the outside. We've already seen Eli Manning with the confidence to throw it up in the air in this situation. That is really nice coverage by Cary Williams.
So here is Josh Brown out to attempt a 40-yard field goal from the left hash. First season with the Giants. Spent last year in Cincinnati. Steve Weatherford places it down, and Brown's kick is good. So Brown connects from 40 following the Eagles turnover, the interception by Roll. 3-0 Giants.
By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
3-0 lead for the New York Giants midway through the first quarter here in Philadelphia. Eli Manning spreading the ball around. 5 for 7, 55 yards. Giants field goal set up by the Antrell Roll interception. His 3rd this season. Morris Johnson back deep for the Eagles. Line drive kick into the end zone. Johnson takes a knee. Eagles will start from the 20. Second series for Michael Vick and the Philadelphia offense.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more. By the Galaxy Note 10.1, the next big thing is here. And by Bank of America.
Well, this rivalry dates back to 1933. The Baker Bowl here in Philadelphia. Then Eagles moved to Municipal Stadium, Connie Mack Stadium, early 40s through the mid-50s. Then it was on to Franklin Field. And Darryl, one of your favorites, the Vet.
Yeah, I tell you, to hear that the Eagles have lost 9 consecutive home games after having to play at the Vet and how hard it was to win a football game at the Vet, I was very, very surprised to hear that stat.
I got the chills when I saw that baseball field on that first one from 1932. The Vet, I remember playing in the dirt there. The dirt in your eyes.
Great memories, Goose, I'm sure.
Yeah, great.
Here's Vick under pressure on first down, and it is Antrell Roll, and Vick falls on the football at the end of the play. So Roll with an interception and now a sack. Eagles have run 4 plays, and Roll has been in on 2 of them.
Michael Vick tries to tuck it away right there. Antrell Roll punches it out and then lands on it. Michael Vick does a nice job of going, identifying that the ball's still out and getting it back.
A loss of 12. Now Vick hands it off to McCoy. McCoy up the sideline, out of bounds. At the 11-yard line, he gains 4. So the Eagles now facing a 3rd down and 18 against the Giants' 19th ranked defense.
Yeah, and the front right here, that first group, you saw the defensive line, the linebackers, they're going to have a big task today because they're going to be responsible for Michael Vick. The secondary will play a lot of man coverage with their backs to him.
Vick on 3rd and long. It's McCoy out of the backfield, and he's down at the 18-yard line, and the Bluebirds have come out already. You mentioned the Eagles' 9-game losing streak here at home, longest in franchise history. Their last home win came against these Giants 392 days ago, last September.
And just very inefficient offensively these first 2 series. Mistakes by themselves. The interception on the first one, the near fumble on the second possession.
Here's Donnie Jones, end over end kick. Ruben Randall lets it go. It takes an Eagles bounce, and it's bounced out for 29. Now the Eagles claim that it hit a Giant, but the officials do not agree. It will be Giants football at the 29-yard line.
Brandon Boykin telling Chip Kelly to throw that challenge flag because it was ruled untouched. First down, Giants on the field. It's not a turnover, so it's not going to go to review.
The ruling on the field is the ball was not touched by the receiving team. They will have the ball at the spot where the kicking team did touch it. First down, timeout.
So the Giants with a 3-0 lead. Back on offense in a moment. 38 on the Giants sidelines. Tremaine McBride, who came awfully close to touching the football following that punt. Giants start from the 29-yard line as Manning throws to a wide-open Brandon Myers, the tight end. He's into Eagles territory to the Philadelphia 44-yard line, a 27-yard pass play.
And one of the things that was very impressive about Peyton Hillis when he came to the Giants on Monday night, you know, not a lot of time, was his ability to understand protection and his ability to block the blitzer. And that's huge. You know, he's got experience from his offense in Tampa Bay. Mike Sullivan is down there right now, came from the Giants staff, so there was familiarity with the concepts and the protections, but again, showing that he's not just there for the running game, but also pass protection.
From the 44, this is number 44, Hillis. And he takes it down to the Eagles' 39, gain of 5.
Yeah, but football's a game of inches. You hear it all the time, but let's go back and take another look at this punt. Look how close this comes to hitting Tremaine McBride.
That's extremely close. Extremely close.
McBride showing tremendous agility. And some luck involved as well.
Maybe more luck than agility.
Yeah.
2nd down and 5. Manning on 2nd down. He looks right now. He throws to the left. It's Nix. And Hakeem Nicks takes it to the 33. Another Giants first down. Time for a game break with Kurt.
All right, over to London we go. 49ers and Jaguars. And I won't say he's untouched, but barely touched is Frank Gore, 19 yards on the opening drive. He ends it with a touchdown and a 7-0 lead for the Niners at Wembley. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Jaguars looking for their first win. 49ers have won 4 in a row. Early lead for San Francisco at Wembley. He set it down for the Giants. Cox in the backfield. Manning on first down. Under pressure, and he's able to get rid of it. Pass is short, intended for Cruz, but a good job by Manning, who felt the pressure.
Yeah, Eli Manning felt the pressure from the backside with Trent Cole. Take a look right here to his left. Audible's off, changes whatever he had it. called, pointing out the Mike linebacker right there. And here's the pressure. See Trent Cole right here, number 58. Eli does a good job of just getting rid of it. That's the pressure that we've seen on Eli Manning all year.
Trent Cole, 8 career sacks of Eli. More sacks against Manning for Cole than any other quarterback. Play clock at 1. Giants get the snap away, and it's Hillis. Peyton Hillis fights his way down to the 26-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 3.
I like the call right there. It's 2nd and 10, but you come back to the running game, get Kevin Booth out in front, big Peyton Hillis, and just push that pile. This is an Eagles defense, as they've gained confidence, after they've started to understand what defensive coordinator Billy Davis' system is about. They've started to add more pressure as you look back over the last couple of weeks, so they're going to have to keep them off balance with run pass in certain situations.
Cruz shifts out of the backfield. Now in the slot, 3rd down and 3. As Manning fires, but his intended receiver, Victor Cruz, slipped. So the pass sails incomplete, and the Giants once again send out the field goal unit.
Victor Cruz coming in motion right here, leaving from the slot. Chin over your toes when you go to make your break. A little bit high with his weight back behind him. Feet are going to kick out.
A little different surface here. The grass.
So here is Brown, who connected from 40 earlier in this first quarter. This a 44-yard attempt. Weatherford places it down. Josh Brown from 44 yards out. It is straight through. So the Giants, with a couple of field goals, now lead the Eagles by the score of 6-0. Good start for Antrell Roll of the Giants defense. An interception and a sack for Roll. Josh Brown with a couple of field goals, including a season-long 44-yarder moments ago. Eagles will start at the 20 one more time. What a game last night in St. Louis. An ending that you and I have never seen before. Tonight, Game 4 on Fox. Red Sox and Cardinals following football. St. Louis leading the series 2-1. Great sports day right here on Fox. America's Game of the Week coming up. Many of you will see the Redskins and the Broncos. Eagles have run only 6 plays. They turned the ball over on the first possession, 3 and out. The next time, McCoy wants to cut it back. And he is down at the 20, no gain.
Yeah, and you go back, I think there's going to be an adjustment period here with Chip Kelly and this Eagles offense about time of possession. You know, Chip Kelly says it's one of the more overrated stats, the most overrated stat in the game of football. He's about efficient plays at a quick pace, but you can see right here as this game has started, those first 2 drives, you've got to strike a balance when you talk about time of possession. There's also that balance with the other part of your team, your defense.
Back to the outside, this is the tight end, James Casey. Only his 2nd reception this season, the former Houston Texan. And Casey able to barrel his way up the sidelines for an Eagles first down. It is their first down today.
And that's why we haven't seen this pace. They have not been able to establish any rhythm on their first 2 possessions.
2 minutes remaining, first quarter. Off the fake to McCoy. Vick under pressure from Joseph. And Vick takes it out of bounds. Out of the 32-yard line. So Michael Vick coming off the hamstring injury, and Giants certainly interested to see how often he would run today and use his legs.
Yeah, the biggest threat that they were worried about was LaShawn McCoy in the running game. They wanted Michael Vick to prove to them that he was healthy and needed to be accounted for. And right now I haven't seen him with decisions that have shown that.
Vick on 2nd and 9. Forced back by Joseph. Gets away from Kiwanuka and then throws it out of bounds. So pressure once again from the Giants, the combination of Linval Joseph and Matthias Kiwanuka.
And we have to see if Michael Vick was still in the pocket on this.
Here's a flag.
Yeah.
Flag has been thrown.
He is not outside the pocket, so he
Intentional
is
grounding.
not.
Number 7, offense. Although the ball made it back to the line of scrimmage, the quarterback was not out of the pocket. Therefore, loss of down, 3rd down.
There's your pocket right there, tackle to tackle. You'll see he stays right on that hash. He's just going to drift straight back, never gets outside of the defined pocket.
Linval Joseph does a nice job of just keep pushing the pocket right in Michael Vick's face, forcing him back.
3rd down at 23. Vick sets up the screen. Bryce Brown. Eagles once again will punt as the boos continue to come raining down from this crowd here in Philadelphia.
I tell you what, Antrell Roll is playing one heck of a game this afternoon. He's already got the interception on the opening series, had the sack fumble on the second series that Michael Vick was able to recover, and he made 2 big plays in this possession.
One of the leaders of the Giants defense, both vocally and leading by his actions on the field. Fair catch is called for by Ruben Randall at the 36-yard line. So good field position for the Giants, who lead this game 6-0, but it has been a struggle over the first 7 weeks.
Yeah, there's 3 phases to a football team. You can see what's happened with them offensively. Defense, this is what we've known the Giants for. A great defense that gets pressure on the quarterback, the defining group on that team. And special teams has not chipped in either. You see there with the 3 punt return touchdowns. So all 3 phases for the New York Giants have struggled mightily early this season.
But a good start today. Roll coming up with the Giants' 7th sack in 8 games. Giants have not been able to get into the end zone. A couple of field goals. And now they start from the 37-yard line. This is Cox. And the Giants' situation at running back has been well documented. They lost Andre Brown during the preseason. And then they re-signed Brandon Jacobs. He's missing his 2nd straight game. David Wilson out for the 3rd consecutive game with a neck injury. Terrell Scott as well. So it's Hillis and Cox.
Tough to have an effective running game when you've had so much change in your offensive line and with your running backs. And there's Brandon Jacobs, had a nice game back against the Chicago Bears a couple of weeks ago.
Giants send in an extra blocker, number 73 on the left side of the line, James Brewer. As Manning hands it off, and running to his left is Cox. Giants offensive line also with their 6th different starting combination in 8 games. But the Giants on the move, leading 6-0. A couple of nice moves from Goose. 2nd quarter coming up. Brandon Jacobs coaching up rookie running back Michael Cox, with the Giants leading the Eagles 6-0 as we start the 2nd quarter. Eli Manning and the Giants facing a 3rd down and 5. Terrell Jernigan, a wide receiver, lined up in the backfield to the left of Eli Manning. Looks like they're bringing a house right here. 2 little linebackers on either side of the center. Giants must get to the 47. Manning rolling to his right, lofts one up for Cruz, and he makes the catch. Victor Cruz comes down with the football at the Eagles' 32-yard line.
You know what, the big thing they do, they bring those backers in the middle, Tony, but when as soon as the running back steps up, watch, they add a 3rd. So once you leave and go to protection, they actually added another one. That was a nice job by Eli Manning, recognizing everything and just buying himself a little time by drifting back, and what a heck of a throw.
26 yards.
Feet in right here.
Yep, 26
down,
yards
2
from
down. There you go.
Manning to Cruz. On 1st down, this is Hillis. Hillis finds a hole.
He's like a bulldozer, Darryl. Not a lot of speed, but boy, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be hit with him.
No, he's not going to run away from a lot of guys out of the field, but you cannot allow him to get downhill. And so far this afternoon, a couple of times, watch, he's coming at you. He doesn't change his path. They're opening the hole for him, and now he's got a full head of steam coming into the secondary.
Always falling forward. When you get a guy like that with a low center of gravity where he always has his shoulders over his knees, you talk about it all the time, Darryl, there's no way to go but forward. Get that extra yard or 2 to help the team out.
2nd and 1, James Brewer in again as an extra blocker on the right side of the line, 73. Here's Hillis. So the Giants signed Hillis prior to the Vikings game on Monday night. He stays in 3 different hotels his first 3 nights in New Jersey. His wife and baby finally joined him. He walked 1.5 miles on the highway, did not have a car, walks 1.5 miles to get some pizza.
Well, he's got to stop doing that because he's got to keep his legs during the course. He talked about after the game last week, his legs were a little bit tired. You know, he got a lot more work than he anticipated. So he's already running much better this week than he did against the Minnesota Vikings.
Maybe it was because he got the pizza and not because he played so much now.
Well, he's burning the calories at least. You know?
He is.
He can eat the whole pie.
Then he had to walk back to the hotel. This is Cox. Wants to turn the corner. Giants in the red zone. We head to Los Angeles. Kurt.
Well, fans in London seeing the same things we've seen all season long here in the States. Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers running all over Jacksonville. He scores from 12 yards out. Niners have had the ball twice, put up touchdowns each time. They're up 14-0. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. 49ers, second place in the NFC West.
Hey, Rita, be nice,
Seattle at 6-1. Empty backfield for the Giants. 2nd down and 8. Manning gets rid of it quickly. It is Hillis, who had 5 receptions in that Monday night win over Minnesota. Peyton Hillis gaining 5 more yards.
Now, you talked about, you know, Peyton Hillis in the running game, had the 18 carries, only had the 36 yards. I thought where he was very, very good was in pass protection. And then he converted a couple of key 3rd downs in that game with some great effort at the end of the run.
3rd down and 3. Giants must get to the 10 for a 1st down. Play clock at 2. Manning on 3rd down. The slant is caught for a 1st down by Jernigan.
You start out with your bunch formation, and then you expand it. There goes Jarrell Jernigan to the outside.
Eli Manning, a lot of time, too. That offensive line, you know, big question mark in my mind coming into this game, but they're doing a hell of a job right now with pass protection and run.
Wow, you're excited about that.
Yeah. It's nice to see those guys get a little fired up, you know.
And Jernigan, Goose, only 3 catches coming into this game, has 2 today. 1st and goal from the Eagles 5. This is Hillis. There is a flag as Hillis gains 4 down to the 1-yard line. Carl Cheffers, our referee.
Illegal formation offense. Number 72 is an ineligible number and was uncovered on the end of the line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
That's the right tackle, the 1st-round pick. Grew up here in Pennsylvania, Justin Pugh.
So you need to come up here, or he has to report as eligible when he comes into the lineup to one of the officials.
So this sets the Giants back 5 yards. 1st and goal from the 10. Nick split wide to the left. Randall to the right. Cruz in the slot. Manning on 1st and goal. He throws over the middle. The pass was juggled and then dropped by Ruben Randall.
Crossing route coming all the way from right to left. A little bit behind, back shoulder catch, but you got to secure it. You've got tight coverage. You know that contact from Nate Allen is coming.
Randall's had some big games against Philadelphia. Had 2 touchdowns in the first meeting 3 weeks ago. Now it's Randall to the left and Nix to the right. As they switch spots, Cruz in the slot to the left. Play clock at 2. Manning to the end zone. Nix. And he's unable to make the catch and come down in bounds.
Well, bad management with that play clock.
We heard Eli clapping for the snap to be made.
Yeah, if he got a little bit more more time, he probably could have made a better throw there into the corner. It was a little deep into that corner.
Good effort by Nix, not enough room. Now 3rd and goal. Play clock again winding down. Giants get the snap off. Manning moves to his right, looking. Now throws. And there is a flag. Catch was made out of bounds by the tight end Larry Donnell. Penalty marker at the end of the play.
He was out of bounds when he caught it.
And the injured Eagle is Gary Williams.
He's coming from the outside. Eli Manning does a good job.
There's no flag on the play. The receiver did step out of bounds, but he did not reestablish back inbounds prior to touching the ball. Therefore, it's just an incomplete pass. 4th down.
He had an opportunity to stay in bounds, too. He just kept fading there in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he definitely lost where he was on the field, because that should have been an easy catch for the touchdown if he just sharpens that turn, gets across the back of the end zone.
Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Surface, the one device for everything in your life.
Larry Donnell comes in motion. We're going to show you the little collision he has with Kerry Williams as he comes in motion. Here's Kerry Williams right here. As he presses the route up the stem, he's going to push off on the face mask area. And you wonder if a finger got inside that face mask. It may have gotten Kerry Williams in the eye. You can see he's got a shield on.
Walked off under his own power to the Eagles sideline. So here's Josh Brown, 2 for 2 today. 28-yard attempt from the right hash. And the play is blown dead. Flags prior to the snap.
Illegal snap. Number 51, kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
The illegal snap, Darryl. That's a first for me.
You wonder if he moved his head trying to draw him off sides.
Yeah. Let's check it out right here.
Zach Diassi, the 2-time Pro Bowler, Giants long snapper.
I didn't see anything. Maybe moving his fingers, trying to draw the team off sides. Or...
No squeeze. It didn't even like a squeeze.
Yeah.
Well, we saw the baseball game end on an obstruction call last night, and now an illegal snap on a field goal attempt. So here's Brown from 33. It is straight through his 3rd field goal. Giants now lead the Eagles 9-0. Three field goals for the New York Giants. Philadelphia Eagles have run only 11 plays, with Michael Vick back at quarterback after missing the last 2 games. So the Giants lead 9-0 early 2nd quarter here in Philadelphia. Johnson will not have an opportunity for the return. Eagles will start at the 20.
Well, take a look at this illegal snap. Talk to the officials. They said that Zach Diassi, the long snapper, if you watch right here, he's going to move the ball and simulate like he's going to go and snap it to try and draw the defense off, and that's where the penalty comes in. And
now here's the rule, Goose.
Go ahead, Kenny.
On the snap, it must be one quick and continuous motion of the hand or hands of the snapper. The ball must leave or be taken from his hands during this motion. That's page 38, Goose, if you want to look it up.
I'll check that out, Ken. Thanks.
Now Vick to the outside up to the 26-yard line to Deshaun Jackson. Eagles have gained only 1 first down. They've had the ball for under 5 minutes, although Chip Kelly certainly does not look at time of possession, as Darryl mentioned earlier. On 2nd and 5, here's McCoy. Kiwanuka the tackle to Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Patriots' struggles continue. Miami at New England. Ryan Tannehill hooking up on a 5-yard score to Daniel Thomas. 14-0 second quarter. Dolphins on top. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Eagles quickly back to the line on 3rd down and 1. McCoy hurls across the 30-yard line for an Eagles first down.
And that was a critical snap right there. You've talked about the struggles for this Eagles offense here, Kenny, in the start of the first half. They desperately needed to convert that 3rd and short and have an opportunity to show this quick-paced offense. They've just not been able to get in any type of rhythm because they haven't been able to execute.
Eagles pick up their second first down of the game. From the 31-yard line, it's McCoy, and this time he's hit for a loss. It's Justin Tuck breaking through.
Not a lot of movement up front. You watch this offensive line, I mean, there's a wall right in front of LaShawn McCoy. There's nowhere for him to go. One thing you got to do is you just got to try and go and bury your head in there and try to make what you can make. As soon as you go and study your feet, those defensive linemen are going to be penetrating through, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Getting a tackle for a loss.
It sure looked like Michael Vick had an opportunity to pull that one, too.
Low snap. Pick to Deshaun Jackson. And Jackson's out of bounds at the 31. Looks like Brent Selleck, the tight end, limped off the field prior to the play, and then the low snap from the center, Jason Kelsey, to Michael Vick.
Yeah, and that's difficult, too, because he's reading a lot of different things. If it's the read keep, he needs his eyes on the defender. On that one, he's got to go down and get it out quickly for that bubble screen.
Another 3rd and long for the Eagles, 3rd down and 10. Jackson split wide to the right, top of the screen. Movement prior to the snap.
Offside. Number 94, defense, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Kiwanuka, so it will be 3rd down and 5.
No movement by the offensive line, so he was not lured offside. Actually, he might have caught Jason Pierre-Paul to his inside, who had the initial flinch.
4th Giants penalty, 3rd down and 5. Vick throws, and that pass intended for Zach Ertz, the tight end, who's in for Selleck. Quan Williams on the coverage. No flags. Eagles will punt it away.
Yeah, the Giants are doing a nice job of mixing up their coverages right now. They're playing some man underneath. They've also done some unique things with zone coverage, which a lot of teams found that was not the best defense against this Philadelphia Eagles style of offense, but they've executed it well.
The return man, Ruben Randall, late running onto the field, finally gets back in position. And he takes the punt at the 14-yard line. He was huffing and puffing as he ran onto the field from the sidelines. So the Giants back in offense following another good stand by their defense.
Game is sponsored by the new 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa back in Philadelphia. Giants have kicked field goals on their last 3 possessions. Lead the Eagles 9-0. Eli Manning, 10 of 17, broke the franchise record for career passing yards in the first quarter. Start from the 19-yard line, off the play fake. Manning's pass is caught by Hillis, and he takes it out to the 23, gain of 4. Michael Kendricks made the tackle.
Good quick decisions by Eli Manning so far to start this game. Not holding the ball, not looking for big plays down the field. If there's somebody open underneath, get it to him. Let's get some positive yards. Let's create our own rhythm offensively.
And he told us yesterday he felt the Giants had chances for some big plays in the first meeting against Philadelphia. Game won by the Eagles 36-21. Second down and 6. Gary Williams back out on the field for the Eagles. Pass is caught for a first down and more by the fullback, John Connor, the former Jet and Bengal. and he gains 12.
Well, this is a nice check at the line by Eli Manning. He saw something, and all of a sudden you've got John Connor. And now the Eagles are going to look at that personnel group and think heavy run. I mean, John Connor, he's one of the few fullbacks we've got left out there, Goose. It's the cement head style. I'm just going to come in. I'm going to run leads all day. And, you know, there he goes. He slips out into the flat and catches the pass. So nice audible at the line by Eli.
Are you calling yourself a cement head?
I love the old style. The guys just give me a wall, I'll run through it for you.
From the 35, Manning to Cruz. And Cruz finally forced out of bounds by Bradley Fletcher out at the 44-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Darryl, having John Connor and Peyton Hillis in the backfield, it's almost like having two more offensive linemen. The size of those two guys, you know, when you look at Peyton Hillis, he almost looks like a fullback back there.
Yeah, he reminds me of Mike Allstott, you know, in his
a lot
appearance.
like him, yes.
Yeah, the way he runs the ball.
A lot of beef back there in that backfield.
Guys approaching 200 yards of offense.
Hey, alert. 95 is mine. Hey, get the hands. Omaha. Oh, son.
You listen to Eli direct traffic, and now he hands it off to Hillis. On 2nd and 2. Hard to bring him down. Finally, Cedric Fort is able to make the tackle, so it will be a 3rd and short coming up for the Giants.
One thing this Eagles defensive line needs to do a little bit better. They're doing a nice job of standing those offensive linemen up, but they're not getting off them. They need to go and shed the block and make the tackle. Right now, they're just sticking on them like glue. And that's a hats off to that offensive line from the Giants.
Interesting personnel group here on a 3rd and short.
Manning, pump fake. And now he throws, and the catch is made by Hakeem Nicks for a first down. So Eli, who potentially thought about running for the first, finds Hakeem Nicks.
Good job extending this, because we just talked about John Connor and Peyton Hillis in the backfield on a 3rd and short. They go shotgun spread, and Eli buys some time and finds Hakeem Nicks open.
Fourth reception for Nicks today.
Hey, 4 down.
New set of downs for the Giants.
95 is mine. Set. 518. Fine touch.
From the Eagles 48. Manning lofts one up for Cruz, similar to the play we saw earlier, and there is a flag. Cruz calling for the penalty marker, and he got it.
We'll go see this one, because remember the pass earlier in the first quarter, there was kind of an arm bar in the end zone when it was one-on-one, and that was Bradley Fletcher at that time. Let's see what he does here.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. Automatic, first down.
A little bit of inconsistency, because I really thought, you know, when we saw that first one early in the first quarter, some physical contact on the outside, maybe a little bit of an arm bar, they let him play. And this one is kind of, maybe just that grab right there at the end is what was enough for the official to throw the flag. Eagles fans here didn't like it.
95 is mine.
1st and 10. From the 29, following the penalty. Hillis. Time for a game break. Once again, here's Kurt.
Well, the team from upstate New York, Buffalo, hanging with the Saints. Stevie Johnson, nice 13-yard reception from Thad Lewis, and is tied at 7. Buffalo's marching, trying to get more right now. Late in the second, Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Giants, who lead 9-0. 3.5 remaining. Second quarter here in Philadelphia.
3 down. 95 is mine. 95 is mine.
Inside handoff, it is Hillis once again, not much, as Kendricks comes up to make the tackle.
He's very athletic, that inside linebacker position here for the Philadelphia Eagles. D'Amico Ryans gets everything coordinated, kind of sets everything, and they just let him use his athletic ability. Makes plays all over the field.
Does a nice job of reading Booth. See Booth right there, number 77. They're going to run right off of him. Way to come up and disrupt that one.
3rd down and 9. Giants must get to the 19. Manning steps to his right, wrapped up, gets rid of it, but Hillis unable to make the catch. Boykin with the pressure on Manning.
Brandon Boykin's going to come from the right-hand side. There he goes, walking into your screen. Going to come here. Nice job of seeing that lane open up and allows him to get to Eli Manning, but I got to give credit to Eli Manning avoiding that sack and being able to get that pass intended for Peyton Hillis.
So Josh Brown, who has already connected 3 times today, with Weatherford setting up at the 36-yard line, a 46-yard attempt. Brown's kick from 46 yards out is good. So Josh Brown now 4 for 4. And the Giants extend their lead to 12-0. Michael Vick, without his helmet, has a towel over his head on the Eagles sidelines. And Matt Barkley, who came into the game last week, took some warm-up throws, chatting with head coach Chip Kelly. So it looks like Barkley will enter the game.
Yeah, and that was the challenge coming in here, you know, that he felt like the hamstring was back. He says, usually when I hurt something, I have the opportunity to rehab it. It doesn't reoccur, but the way he plays the quarterback position, the start, the stop, change of direction, that's going to really test the health of that hamstring. So we'll take a look and just see how he's playing. Now, I thought maybe right there he could have escaped out to the left, and instead he throws the ball and gets picked off. There he is, again, Antron Roll with the play there. He's been under pressure during the course of the afternoon. There was also an opportunity on a read keep he gave to LaShawn McCoy. I really felt that if he was healthy, he would have pulled that and come out the back door. So remember, he said, if I feel like I'm going to hinder this offense in any way where I take plays out of the playbook or the game plan because of my health, I have to get off the field.
So it is Matt Barkley who loses the first snap, then picks it up, throws, and the catch is made by Selleck, who limped off earlier, and Selleck gains 9 out to the 29-yard line.
I'll tell you what, this is a bad play that turned pretty good for Barkley. Goes, picks it up, sees Selleck coming across, gets the ball out to him.
Final play before the 2-minute warning as Barkley throws, and it is Selleck once again. So 2 attempts, 2 completions for Matt Barkley, the rookie out of USC, both to the tight end Brent Selleck, with Michael Vick out of the game. Did not start the last 2 due to the hamstring injury. It's now Barkley for the Eagles. The official report on Michael Vick, his hamstring is bothering him. His return today is questionable. Remember, Nick Foles, who started the last 2 games, suffered the concussion last week. He is not active today. Matt Barkley is now 3 for 3, complete to Deshaun Jackson, covered by Corey Webster, who has replaced Tremaine McBride, who was ill and headed back to the Giants locker room.
And better circumstances for Matt Barkley coming into this game last week against the Cowboys, down in the 4th quarter, pressed a little bit and had those 3 interceptions.
Eagles picked up 2 first downs with Vick in the game, now 2 since Barkley entered. Free play here. Flags. Barkley looking for Jackson, and now another flag.
Oh, the defensive line jumps off sides. They continue to play, and it's a free play for the offense.
Offside, number 91 defense. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 94 defense for a late hit to the quarterback. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced. Automatic first down.
Here comes Matthias Kiwanuka, number 94. Wow. That's right on the fringe.
First time,
there, it's right there.
First time the Eagles have crossed midfield today. Here's Barkley on first down. And that pass sailed away from the intended receiver, the tight end, Zach Ertz.
Oh, boy, and he had a lot of room out in front of him. If you can make that completion on a catch and run. Opportunity to turn up field, get some more yards, and then probably get out of bounds down inside the 20.
Now 2nd and 10 from the Giants 35. Matt Barkley, 4th round pick out of USC. In for the injured Michael Vick. Barkley loves one up. And there is a flag. McCoy was grabbed by Beeson.
That's all John Beeson can do right here because he's going to the flat.
Number 52, defense. Automatic. First down.
And your choice is either take the pass interference or possibly risk having a touchdown. He's going to come inside out on the wheel route. Now you think he's just going flat, but now they turn it up. And he's already trailing LaShawn McCoy at that point.
Penalty cost the Giants only 8 yards. Could have been a lot worse if Beast did not grab hold of McCoy. And here is Jackson tackled from behind by Terrell Thomas.
You know, the funny thing is we're seeing the pace that we expected to see. I know it's a 2-minute situation at the end of the half, but this is how the Eagles want to play the entire game. We never really saw them get into this pace with Michael Vick.
With Vick at the helm, the Eagles ran only 17 plays for 19 yards, but now Barkley and the Eagles moving the football. Now 2nd down and 2. Out of the shotgun. Barkley's pass is caught by McCoy, picks up a first down, tiptoeing down the sidelines, and he stepped out of bounds at the 16.
Sean McCoy here on the outside. Right there, he steps out. That's a good call by the officials.
So down to 1:23 remaining. Barkley entered the game for the injured Foles last week against Dallas. Played 3 series and threw 3 interceptions. From the 16. Barkley throws, and there's Jason Avant, who makes the catch at the Giants 2. Timeout is taken by the Eagles. Their first, a 14-yard connection to Los Angeles. Kurt.
A big battle in the AFC East featuring the Dolphins and the Patriots. Also, the Cleveland Browns visit the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Buffalo Bills go for a win in the Big Easy. It's all coming your way on the Visa Halftime Show.
All right, Kurt, we look forward to it.
You know, Darryl, you pointed it out earlier, this is a completely different team with Matt Barkley in there. Pace-wise, confidence, getting the ball downfield. Really nice job by him.
Yeah, I don't think this is just a product of you being in a 2-minute situation at the end of the half. This is how Chip Kelly wants his offense to play the entire game, and it just seems like there's a different vibe with Michael Vick not in the lineup, which is completely surprising.
Vick certainly hindered by that hamstring even when he was in. 1st and goal from the Giants 2. Riley Cooper comes in motion. Barkley fakes the handoff to Cooper. Under pressure, being chased. Where's the football? It was stripped. And the question is, was it recovered inbounds by Williams? Did Jaquan Williams have possession before his body touched the white? And it is ruled Giants football.
And this is going to be just
on the field as the ball was fumbled and recovered inbounds by the defense. 1st down, Giants.
There's your fumble. Now this becomes just like a catch on the sideline. Does he establish possession 2 feet down?
The sack is stripped by Terrell Thomas, and then number 57, Jaquan Williams. There he is, leapfrogging over Barkley, and it looks like he got the left forearm down inbounds.
There it is right there, Kenny. That elbow's in.
I tell you, the officials, every game, it's amazing how quick they can process and see all this moving at game speed.
Is under review.
Yeah, it really is. And we are under 2 minutes, so they will take a look at it upstairs. But Williams did a terrific job getting that left forearm down and then maintained possession as he rolled out of bounds. What athleticism. Up over Barkley, left forearm down. Referee Carl Jeffers.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a fumble, and the defensive player recovered the ball on the sideline with his elbow inbounds. 1st down, Giants.
Jaquan Williams who recovered the fumble, so it is a Philadelphia turnover. A couple of parts to this as we check in with Mike Barrera in Los Angeles. The arm was not moving forward, and Williams came up with it inbounds. Good call, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, and Moose was so right. This is just like the process of the catch and recovery of a loose ball. He got the forearm down, and he maintained control. Good job.
So a terrific job by the officials. Thanks to Mike Pereira. Peyton Hillis up the middle. Giants have all 3 of their timeouts following the second Philadelphia turnover, and Matt Barkley has now turned the ball over on all 4 of his possessions as an Eagle. Giants were facing a 1st and goal from the 2, and they come up with the takeaway. Now a penalty marker. Clock stops with 42 seconds remaining.
And they talked about him pressing in the 4th quarter last week against Dallas, trying to get back into that game, and I really feel like he pressed there. He was trying to get Deshaun Jackson.
Illegal formation offense. Number 72 was an ineligible number and uncovered on the line of scrimmage. Repeat 2nd down.
And that's the 2nd time, so that's unacceptable. You know, whoever's making the mistake of not being lined up and covering your tackle, whether it's the tight end, the wide receiver, somebody's got to get up on the line of scrimmage and cover that. That's basic football right there, and that's unacceptable for that to happen twice. But going back to Matt Barkley, you've got a play designed to come out on the edge, looking for Deshaun Jackson on an inside-out move. Once he's covered and it's not there, you've got to throw the ball away. You cannot hold and make the critical mistake like Matt Barkley did.
2nd down and 6 for Eli Manning and the Giants. Manning airing it out. Pass intended for Hakeem Nicks. Kerry Williams on the coverage.
Up at the top of the screen, Kerry Williams going stride for stride. You turn around, if you get your head turned around to try and locate the ball, you get a little bit of leeway with the officials on the outside. You can see him hand checking right there. We saw that earlier in the 1st quarter. We see it again there. As long as you get that head around to find the football, you'll get a little bit of leeway from the officials.
Now 3rd down and 6. 36 seconds remaining. Giants with 4 field goals. Lead 12-0. Manning on 3rd down. Checks it down to Hillis. And Hillis falling forward. It will depend on the spot. Good second effort by Hillis, and he does pick up the 1st down, so the Giants will not have to punt it away as time winds down here in this 1st half.
And this is what impressed me against the Minnesota Vikings that Monday night was Peyton Hillis in the passing game converting 3rd downs like that.
Manning checks it down. This is Cox. Cox heading for the sidelines. We'll see if the Giants have time for one final play. Does not look like they will, so Giants will take a 12-0 lead into the locker room at halftime here in Philadelphia. Coming up after these messages, the Visa Halftime Report with Kurt and the gang from Los Angeles. We get set for the 2nd half here in Philadelphia. New York Giants lead the Eagles by the score of 12-0, the 1st half numbers.
Change at quarterback. You see the stats right there. The turnover is obviously big, but we expect pace of play. We don't see pace of play. Time of possession, we talked about that a little bit in the beginning. He's going to have to come to terms with time of possession.
Under 9 minutes. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Giants did not allow the Vikings to score on offense last week. They've shut out the Eagles. Michael Vick back on the bench due to the hamstring injury, replaced by Matt Barkley late in the 2nd quarter. Barkley turned the ball over on the sack by Terrell Thomas. Eagles get the ball first here in the 3rd quarter as Damaris Johnson takes it out across the 25-yard line. So it will be Matt Barkley once again, the rookie out of USC, leading the Eagles onto the field in the absence of Michael Vick.
And I hope that he comes out and just settles down and plays. I think in that last series he had some confidence going. We saw that up-tempo, had the turnover at the end of half. But last week against Dallas, coming in the fourth quarter, down in that game, he said he pressed a little bit. You know, you've got the entire half here. It's a two-possession game. You're down 12. Relax, come out, execute the game plan that you've been working on during the course of the week.
Remember, on his first play today, lost the snap, then completed the pass to Selleck, committed the turnover on first and goal from the 2, as McCoy, who gained only 7 yards in the first half, picks up 8.
And Kenny, I talked to Chip Kelly during halftime. You know, he said this first possession is crucial for us to get something done here. He liked the pace when Barkley was in. He said we have to keep that pace up. I also asked him about Mike Vick. You know, was he injured early when we saw him? And he said he just wasn't himself. That's why we had to go make the change.
All right, thanks, Goose. On 2nd and 2, here's Deshaun Jackson, who picks up a first down out to the 43-yard line. So first McCoy runs for 8, and then Jackson gains 9 on the Eagles' first 2 plays here in the third quarter.
And I think those are the 2 guys now that the Giant defense has to get focused on. LaShawn McCoy in the run game, Deshaun Jackson on plays like that little bubble screen. You're not going to have to worry about read keep. Matt Barkley's not going to beat you running the football.
Play blown dead.
Ball start, number 62, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the center, Jason Kelsey.
No, Darryl, I totally agree with what you said about Matt Barkley. I think that he came out, he had the pace of the team going at a great pace, but one thing that, you know, he looked like he was rushing a little bit. He needs to just calm down in the pocket, have a little bit of confidence, and I think he'll do better this time.
Barkley hands it off to McCoy, cuts to the outside, breaks away from Justin Tuck. So 2 good runs for McCoy to start the second half. We heard Jimmy Johnson talking about him during the Visa halftime report, his struggles in the first.
Yeah, and it's, you know, they have to focus on him, but look at what's out the back door here. You know, you're going to ride LaShawn McCoy on that read option, but, I mean, you're not going to go the distance probably, but there's some plays that you've got to keep this defense honest.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 8. It's McCoy once again, and he's across midfield, took a hard hit at the end of the play into Giants territory. 7 more yards for McCoy, who was bottled up by the Giants in the first meeting. Rushed for a season-low 46, and not much in the first half, but a good start here in the second.
Very good start, and he's the key. He's the one guy you have to worry about now in the rest of the afternoon.
On 3rd down and 1, this is Bryce Brown in for McCoy. And Brown fights his way to the Giants' 46-yard line for an Eagles first down.
And really, I don't think the Giants have to change their game plan at all, because when we talked to defensive coordinator Perry Fuel, he talked about LaShawn McCoy as our #1 guy we have to stop. We're going to make Michael Vick prove that he's healthy. Then we may adjust. Well, Michael Vick is on the bench now with that hamstring, so I think they get to run the exact same game plan that they practiced all week long.
On 1st down, this is Brown. His 2nd straight carry. We saw McCoy took that hard hit at the end of his last run. And it's been Brown now on the last 2 plays for the Eagles.
There's LaShawn McCoy on the sideline.
Wrapping his helmet back on. Bryce Brown, 2nd season out of Kansas State. Lined up to the right of Barkley. Pass is caught by Deshaun Jackson. And at the end of the play, the ball is stripped, but it comes down out of bounds. Prince Amukamara with the strip, and now LaShawn McCoy checks back in.
When they get into that formation on the outside, that's what you have to be aware of. That quick little bubble screen on the outside. We're going to come down, block there, and you're going to put Deshaun Jackson one-on-one in space.
6th catch for Jackson today. 3rd down and 2. It's McCoy. And he picks up another Eagles first down to the Giants' 32-yard line.
This is going to be very frustrating, that defensive front now, Tony, as well, because you can't really put your hand in the ground and come after the quarterback. There's so many things you have to do from assignment football now. Who's got quarterback? Who's got pitch? Am I in the right spot?
Ninth play of the drive for the Eagles. Again, it is McCoy, and he breaks away from Kiwanuka. McCoy to the Giants. 26. Gain of 6.
Missed tackles for the Giants, keeping this drive going. Rots right here with McCoy. Right there, you have an opportunity. Kiwanuka has an opportunity to go make a play in the backfield. Got to wrap that up.
Giants defense has not allowed a touchdown in the last 8 quarters. Shut out the Eagles so far today as McCoy slips. Back at the 27. Loses a yard, setting up 3rd down and 5.
You always want your running backs to have a nice forward lean, but we've seen LaShawn McCoy stumbling a couple of times here in the second half, getting too much weight over those shoulders.
I think you were exactly right earlier, Darryl, saying, hey, listen, give it to Matt Barkley. Let him go on the backside a little bit. Keep him honest. Because they're not really paying any attention to him right now as far as running the ball.
Bryce Brown in the backfield. Jackson comes in motion on 3rd down and 5. Barkley with time, now under pressure, wrapped up, down he goes. It's the 3rd sack for the Giants today. It's Kiwanuka and the former Eagle, Mike Patterson.
Something that's been missing all season long is that pressure. Here's Riley Cooper coming across shallow. Nice job by Prince Amukamara walking through all those bodies right there. Bryce Brown was who he had open, running that little route again on the outside, but he doesn't have the opportunity to get to him because he's got pressure from the front.
Giants had only 6 sacks coming into this game. They have 3 today, and the Eagles leave the offense on the field. Instead of attempting a 50-yard field goal, Barkley has trouble with the snap. Now he throws, and the pass is high. So the Giants will take over on downs. It was intended for Avant. So in Chip Kelly's mind, that sack took the Eagles out of field goal range. They go for it on 4th down and cannot convert.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Well, the win certainly affecting Chip Kelly's decision. Does not go for the 50-yard field goal. Attempted a 60-yarder towards the end of the first half in last week's game. So the Eagles give it up on downs. And the Giants take over at the 32-yard line. This is Cox. Gains a couple.
Yeah, but you're right on the cuffs for Alex Henry at that 50-yard field goal attempt. You saw the pictures of the wind here at the stadium, and you go back to last week too, that 4th and 1 situation at the end of the first half. A lot of people felt Chip Kelly should have gone for it there instead of trying that field goal. So that sack ended up being the difference on that drive in the decision making. You mentioned it, Kenny. All of a sudden you're under a different thought process when you get pushed to that cusp of where your kicker feels comfortable kicking from.
So 3 sacks for the Giants today. They came into the game with only 6, fewest in the league. On 2nd and 10, Manning complete to Cruz. Cruz gains 5 and a hard drive to the ground by Bradley Fletcher, who made the tackle, and Cruz is shaken up.
That's a point of emphasis coming into the season, is not driving guys into the turf. See this right here? This is just a body slam. You got 2 guys taking him back, and surprised there wasn't a flag thrown on that.
Fletcher and Allen, Giants medical staff, tending to Victor Cruz. Well, Victor Cruz jogged off the field under his own power, but now checked out on the sideline.
Yeah, and this is just, I'm surprised there's not a flag, because this is a point of emphasis coming into the season. No body slamming, no driving players into the turf, everything generated for player safety. And you can see Victor Cruz immediately goes to the shoulder.
But his head hit as well, but the right shoulder took the brunt of the impact. Now on 3rd and 4, Nix makes the catch, but a nice tackle is made by Allen, who was one of the 2 Eagles who drove Cruz down on the previous play.
Yeah, that's well done right there. And this is a crossing route coming from depth. Exactly, Tony.
He wraps the arms around Sometimes you don't get the whole body, but you get a piece of him, and he got his leg and took him right down to the ground.
Weatherford punting for only the second time. First punt just 30 yards. Damaris Johnson back deep this time for the Eagles. We saw Deshaun Jackson drop back earlier and a beautiful kick. What a punt by Weatherford, pinning the Eagles back at their own 5-yard line. A 56-yard punt, perfectly placed. Congratulated by Brandon Jacobs. Well, this November, some cops are born, others are made. Get ready for the next evolution of cop drama. Don't miss the show critics are calling obsession-worthy and one of the best new series this fall. Almost Human, the 2-night series premiere starting Sunday, November 17th on Fox. Victor Cruz heading back towards the Giants locker room. Giants lead 12-0. Worst starting field position today for the Eagles. Third series for Matt Barkley. He hands it off to LaShawn McCoy. In case you joined us late, Michael Vick started the game after sitting out the last 2 with a hamstring injury. Vick in for 4 series today. Eagles gained a total of 19 yards with Vick in the game, only 2 first downs. They've moved the ball a lot better with Barkley, but no positive result at the end. Second down and 7. Here is McCoy again, tackled by Joseph. Time for a game break with Joel Klatt. Joel.
All right, Kenny, and a little bit of NFL history here. Tom Brady now sole possession of 4th all-time with his 343rd touchdown pass of his career. They pull within 7. It's 17-10 Miami and New England. Back to Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, thanks very much, Joel. Eagles now facing 3rd down and 2. Barkley hands it off to McCoy. And again, if he faked the handoff, Barkley would have easily picked up a first down.
I mean, Barkley's wide open, Darryl.
They're playing him with a corner on the backside. Terrell Thomas is who's responsible. 24 is going to be outside here, but he's going to come in. That's who's watching in case Matt Barkley wants to run. Now there's nothing there. Now he can just continue down the line of scrimmage. So they've got it defended with a corner where they can get all their guys in the front 7 to LaShawn McCoy.
Donnie Jones punting from his own 3-yard line to Ruben Randall. Good kick. Randall across the 30 to the 35. Good field position for the Giants. 54-yard punt by Jones. Big day for the Giants defense. New York Giants have lost 8 consecutive games on the road. Lead here in Philadelphia at 12-0. Victor Cruz has gone to the locker room for x-rays on his neck. Giants start from the 36-yard line. Manning under pressure on first down, and he throws it away. Eagles want a flag. Connor Barwin brought the front pressure, and now the officials will get together to discuss a potential grounding penalty. There's the flag.
Yeah, you're going to see right here, you're going to come down to the inside on the tackle. You're going to leave your back in a hard spot. I don't know what the protection is. Connor Barwin, you know, whether it's right tackle.
Intentional grounding, number 10, offense. That ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 2nd down.
But Connor Barwin's one of your big edge rushers. I don't understand how you turn him loose to your quarterback. Your tackle's looking down inside here. The running back's up inside. And then as Eli Manning's out, he's short of the line of scrimmage.
And also, he's still in the box. That box goes all the way back, man.
Right. In the first meeting 3 weeks ago, Manning was called for intentional grounding 3 times in that game against the Eagles. Loss of 19 yards on the play. Now 2nd and 29. As Manning's pass gets batted back, so the Giants are now facing a 3rd and 29. Again, it is Barwin.
Well, Eli Manning gets rid of the ball so fast. This is all you could do sometimes. Just get in his path of where he's throwing the ball and get your hands up and tip him. Connor Barwin does a nice job of going, reading his eyes. Nice vertical jump. I mean, he's got to be up there at least 20 inches to bat that ball down. Looks like you're vertical there, little Darryl.
Play clock at 2. Manning moving to his right on 3rd and 29. Pass is caught by Jernigan. So the Giants gain some of the yardage back, 12 to number 12, but Weatherford out to punt it away.
And that's all you're trying to do right there on a 3rd and 29. You're just trying to get some positive yards to help your punt team out with their coverage.
And again, Deshaun Jackson has not been used much on punt returns this season. Great history against the Giants, so Jackson back deep. We saw Johnson moments ago. Weatherford angling it towards the sideline. Another tremendous punt by Weatherford. Jackson could not field it. Out of bounds at the 3. 2 consecutive outstanding punts by Steve Weatherford of the Giants. Tremendous rivalry, Giants and Eagles. Chuck Bednarik standing over Frank Gifford. We had a quick look at Herm Edwards' miracle at the Meadowlands. And now here in 2013, Eagles won the first meeting, 36-21. Giants have a 12-0 lead today. Eagles start from their own 3-yard line. Barkley complete to Riley Cooper. Cooper out to the 10 for a gain of 7. Eagles quickly back up to the line. Fourth series for Matt Barkley on a relief of Michael Vick, who tweaked his hamstring injury, and Bryce Brown is hit for a loss of 4 by Justin Tuck.
You've got to pull that one. You just have to pull this one. I mean, the guy that's in charge of the dive is meeting you in the backfield. He's right there. You have to pull that. If you don't have the confidence in Matt Barkley to run that part of your offense, to keep it and run, then you just got to take it out of the game plan right now.
Eagles pinned on that 68-yard punt by Weatherford, tying his career high. Now facing a 3rd down and 8. Barkley from the end zone, complete to Deshaun Jackson, but he was running west to east arrow instead of north, and he stopped 2 yards shy of the marker.
We saw a good tackle on the last series by Nate Allen. This is a nice tackle by Will Hill, because this offense at its core is trying to get its big playmakers in space, one-on-one in the open field, and Will Hill does a nice job tackling Deshaun Jackson in that exact situation.
So the Eagles go 3 and out. Barkley talking about it with head coach Chip Kelly. Donnie Jones from his own end zone. Giants will have it in Eagles territory. We have just over 3 minutes remaining, only a 30-yard punt, 3rd quarter. Well, the first 2 drives for Matt Barkley, Eagles moved the ball well, but did not come away with any points. A fumble, and then they lost it on downs. But the last 2 drives with Barkley at the helm, both 3 and out. Michael Vick, aggravating his hamstring injury, can only watch. Best starting field position for the Giants today from the 41. Pass is caught by Nix. Broke the first tackle attempt and then is wrapped up by D'Amico Ryans. 6th reception for Nix today. Giants still without Victor Cruz, who went in for x-rays on his neck, and Michael Vick left the game in the 2nd quarter with a hamstring injury after he did not start the last 2.
Now, I might be able to answer that question about Michael Vick. I don't think we're going to see him the rest of the afternoon.
No. It is doubtful. 2nd down and 4.
Hey, 4 down. Hey, we're in trouble. We'll trouble it to over. 95 line. So, 3rd buzzer. Omaha. Come on, say.
On 2nd down, it's Hillis. Time for a game break. We head to Los Angeles. Here's Kurt.
Patriots trail Miami 17-3 at home at halftime, but they've scored twice in less than 2 minutes. Brandon Bolden with the run in for the latest, and they've tied it at 17 apiece. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Good one in Foxborough. Both of these teams keeping an eye on the Cowboys and the Lions. Dallas leading 10-7 midway through the 3rd quarter. Cowboys a game ahead of the Eagles in the NFC East.
Hey, B95, 180.
Hot Cox in the backfield, 3rd down and 1. On the toss, it is Cox. And Cox fights his way close to a 1st down.
You've got all your big people, and you've got 2 tight ends, a fullback. You bring them over to the right side, and you get into a bunch formation. But I want you to watch everybody stay on their feet. John Connor comes out. Stay on your feet, on your blocks. A lot of times you get in situations like that where the guy's chopped, guy goes to the ground. These guys are too athletic. They pop right back up. They're there to make the play. Good job by all 3 of those guys in the bunch, staying on their feet and pushing the pile.
So Cox did pick up the 1st. New set of downs for the Giants from the Eagles 31. Hillis in the backfield. Jernigan split wide to the left. Nix, bottom of your screen, to the right in the absence of Victor Cruz. Manning looking for Nix. There he is. Catch number 7 for Hakeem Nix, who actually grew up in Philadelphia, spent the first 10 years of his life in this city.
And I think that this has been a nice game plan today by Kevin Gilbride. It's a short passing game, and it's probably frustrating for him because we know this offense likes to stretch the field vertically. It wasn't working out this season because of the situation with the offensive line. The protection wasn't there. The ball's coming out of Eli Manning's hand a lot quicker.
Victor Cruz back in the game. Top of your screen, split wide to the left. Now shifts towards the slot. 2nd down and 2. It's Hillis, and Peyton Hillis picks up a Giants 1st down as time winds down to this 3rd quarter.
I'm sure Victor Cruz was happy to come in on that play and motion to the inside and block the safety. I just came back from getting x-rays on my neck, and you want me to what?
I'll tell you what, those 2 big guys, John Connor and Peyton Hillis, those guys were just pounding it out right up the middle.
Yeah, this is much better than we saw the running game against the Minnesota Vikings. Not only the carries, but a lot of the production. Look at that. Over 4 yards a carry for Peyton Hillis against the Eagles. He was only 2 yards per carry against the Minnesota Vikings.
Former 1,000-yard rusher with the Cleveland Browns, so the Giants will take a 12-0 lead into the 4th here in Philadelphia. We start the 4th quarter. Eagles have now gone 7 quarters without scoring a touchdown. Giants have not allowed their opponent to score an offensive touchdown in 9 quarters. Eli with his back to his center, directing traffic. 1st and 10 from the 17. Penalty marker is thrown as Hillis gains 2 to the Eagles' 15-yard line.
Well, Eli had to go and arrange the whole offensive line, backfield. He had to line everybody up.
Are we surprised we're going to get an illegal motion on this call?
Illegal motion. Offense
Really?
number 39. He was moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
And now Manning laughing about it with David Deal.
Oh, this is unbelievable. No. Back to the other side.
Get on the other side. Hurry up. You, move over.
He told us yesterday that with Hillis, who did not necessarily know all of his assignments, all the plays, he told Peyton Hillis, ask me while I'm calling the play. I'll explain it to you.
James Brewer needs to ask him, too.
1st and 15, little shoulder fake by Manning. And now he throws, and it's caught inside the 10-yard line by Cruz. Gain of 12 from Eli Manning to Victor Cruz. Now 2nd down and 3.
This has really been the only part of the Giant offense today that they haven't really had a lot of success getting down here. They're settling for field goals in the red zone or on that red zone fringe area. Drives are stalling.
2nd time into the red zone for the Giants, but they have kicked 4 field goals. Hillis and Connor in the backfield, I formation, 2nd down and 3. Play clock winds down, and Giants will be called for a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And that's one of the reasons you'll struggle in the red zone. Penalties derail you more than anything. You've got to, anything that's within your control, you've got to execute efficiently. And this is the 2nd time in this series. We've had issues with getting people lined up, getting people to start their motion.
They turned around to try and line up the fullback Connor, and time ran out. Again, the play clock winding down. It's at 1. Giants get the snap away. Man into the end zone for Hicks, but he did not get both feet down inbounds. Hakeem Nicks made the catch, but did not get 2 feet down.
At the bottom of your screen, I don't even think he gets the first one down. The first one comes down out of bounds.
He did not. Left foot comes down out of bounds, and then the right.
That's 2 touchdowns for the Giants. One in the back of the end zone and one on the side there that guys just didn't know where their bodies were.
3rd down and 7. Manning over the middle. This is Myers, the tight end, but it will not be enough for a first down.
But you get your vertical routes, and then you're going to bring Brandon Myers across the formation underneath everything. Nate Allen, good vision, good recognition. Misses the initial tackle, but he's got his guys there around him to help him out.
Yeah, that's one good thing that this Philadelphia's defense has done all day today was run to the ball. Right here, they needed it.
So here is Josh Brown, who has already tied his career high with 4 field goals today. This a 27-yard attempt on the left hash. Brown is now 5 for 5, a new career best. Giants extend to a 15-0 lead.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Land Rover, Above and Beyond. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Old Spice. Get unnecessary freshness and start winning everything today.
Goose spent the entire day yesterday running up and down the steps at the Philadelphia Museum of Art.
13 times, 13.
An old gray sweatsuit, a towel around his neck.
Oh, yeah. I was even humming the words. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, there's Josh Brown, who has accounted for all of the scoring in today's game. Giants down to a 15-0 lead. Talk about special teams. Giants had allowed 3 punt return touchdowns this year. Brown connecting 5 times. Weatherford with a couple of great punts, pitting the Eagles deep in their own territory.
And I tell you, it's not easy to directionally punt, and Steve Weatherford, his last 2 have been outstanding.
Johnson takes it out. Morris Johnson out to the 22-yard line with the Giants leading 15-0. As crazy as it sounds, it's still only a 2-possession game.
Yeah, but I think right now it's trying to find out what Philadelphia wants to do offensively. We've talked about this read-keep element in their offense. Yeah, Matt Barkley's not scaring anybody, and the Giants are defending it well with a corner on the line and allowing their front 7 to chase LaShawn McCoy. I just think you take that out because it's not a threat to them defensively. There's got to be something else you can lean to get the ball moving on the ground.
Eagles start from the 21. 3 and out on their last 2 possessions. Barkley to Jackson. Right there to make the tackle, Tremaine McBride. Gain of 11 on the play with 12 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. And the Eagles, as we mentioned earlier, have now gone 7 consecutive quarters without a touchdown, losing 17-3 to the Cowboys last week. And a tremendous job by this Giants defense. They have not allowed a touchdown in 9 quarters. Barkley in trouble. It's Linval Joseph with the Giants' 4th sack today.
He's trying to get a double move down the left side for a big play, and he's not going to get that. You'll watch a cover out in the trips. You got your little bubble screen. You're running everybody up. Now you're trying to sneak that inside guy down the field. The Giants defend it well. That gives Linval Joseph the time to get in and get the sack. Good recognition by the safety, seeing the guy who normally blocks on that screen release for the big play.
Giants finally in double digits. 10 sacks on the season. Only 6 coming into this game. On 2nd and 19. Barkley throws wide open, and then stumbling down is Jason Avant, but he picks up an Eagles first down.
A little mistake in the ball handling in the backfield. I think Matt Barkley may have opened up the wrong way on the play fake, but he does a good job of just maintaining his composure, getting to the spot he needs to be, and finding his receiver down the field.
And then Avant gains 25. Biggest play of the day for the Eagles on offense. Here comes Justin Tuck. Barkley able to get rid of it. And we will check in once again with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Hey, guys, remember all that talk about Jimmy Graham possibly not playing today because of a foot injury? Well, I'm sure the Bills wishes that were the case. That's his second touchdown reception of the afternoon. Saints in firm control over the Bills in the third quarter, 28-10. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, Kurt, tight ends catching football, scoring touchdowns at a record pace this season. Second down and 10. Barkley with time, over the top to Johnson. Terrell Thomas makes the tackle. Demarcus Johnson into Giants territory. Watch 30 minutes of live NFL games free now through October 29th. Call Star NFL to download now. Third down and 4. Eagles must get to the Giants 43. Barkley again under pressure from Tuck. Took a hard hit, and the pass is incomplete, so the Eagles send out the punting unit.
I think they just turned Justin Tuck loose to Matt Barkley. You got a blitz inside, so you kind of put Lance Johnson in that position where he's got to take most dangerous. He goes to the right guy, the inside guy, but that leaves Justin Tuck free to your quarterback.
Well, I think he thought he was going to get trapped or something. No one ever lets Justin Tuck free to the quarterback.
Randall will let it go. Comes down out of bounds. So the Giants with a 15-0 lead will take over on their own 10-yard line. Giants defense, 4 sacks today. Back in Philadelphia, Giants with a 15-0 lead over the Eagles. 5 Josh Brown field goals.
95 is Mike. 95 is Mike.
Giants start from the 10-yard line.
95, Omaha. Well, set.
Peyton Hillis. You know, I asked Eli yesterday, have you ever had a teammate named Peyton? He said, yeah, I know, it sounds funny. Eli handed off to Peyton.
Yeah. A little bit thicker than the other Peyton, his brother, though.
Yes.
But he has really been a key part of this offensive performance this afternoon. Not just the defense having to respect the running game, but with Peyton Hillis there and the production that they've had this afternoon. You know, an ideal situation here right now to take some time off the clock for the Giants.
Over. 395, 7. Omaha. Well, set.
Second down and 5. And to the outside looking for Cruz.
And at the top, we talked about, you know, looking back at the Giants' performance against the Minnesota Vikings, and did they win that game, or was that more of Minnesota just playing poorly and then being in the right place at the right time? Well, they've kind of matched what they did that previous game. The running game is even more productive today. They don't have a turnover yet this afternoon. So the areas
are working at red zone, though.
Yeah, they have struggled there.
+2 in the turnover department today.
And then the defense, you know, we saw them the last series, you know, getting sacks.
Yeah, they're playing way better.
Third down and 5, it's Cruz. And Victor Cruz picks up a Giants first down out to the 24.
Let me tell you what, that's a tough guy right there. You're coming to the middle of the field on a slant. You know you've got safeties that are looking you up, trying to deliver a big hit on you, and he's already been out of the game into the locker room with x-rays on his neck.
And another point, Darryl, we've talked about it all week, and earlier today, the communication with the receivers looks much better. Not a lot of drops. Manning's thrown for 236 yards, 7 completions for Cruz, 7 to Hakeem Nicks. Manning has spread the ball around to 7 different receivers. And now he hands it off to Hillis. Hillis to the 27.
Giants doing a good job of just eating the clock up.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that, Kenny, is, you know, you haven't had the big down the field routes either, where there's more of an opportunity for those adjustments at the top of the route, where they kind of send the wrong signal to Eli. He's reading one thing, they're thinking another thing. With this short passing game, it's much easier for quarterback, wide receiver to be on the same page and much more efficient throwing the football.
And it helps it today.
And it helps out that offensive line also with getting the ball out so fast. It's a big question mark coming in today's game.
Second down and 7. Ellis. Giants doing what you just talked about, running time off the clock as we approach the midway point of quarter number 4.
Well, here are the key areas what we showed you earlier in those for the Giants season. You look at the sacks for the season, they had 6. They've got 4 today. Turnovers, I mean, that's been the real devastating part for this team. They don't have any today. That's going to be the second week in a row now without the turnovers. And they've had 3 punt return touchdowns during the course of the season. Special teams has stepped up today, too. Steve Weatherford's done an excellent job with his directional kicking to take Deshaun Jackson out of that return game.
And Josh Brown 5 for 5 in the field goal department. Manning calls timeout. Third down coming up for the Giants when we return.
Sponsored by Pizza Hut, stuffing 3 cheeses into their crust since, well, this weekend it's new.
7:13 remaining. Giants out to a 15-0 lead over Chip Kelly's Eagles, who scored only 3 last week against Dallas, have been shut out today. Third down and 5. Manning moving to his right, under pressure. He throws, and it's broken up. Brandon Boykin making the play for the Eagles, who will get the ball back. Giants will punt it away.
We're going to go straight man-to-man across the board. Everybody locked in. Brandon Boykin, 22, working against Hakeem Nicks right there, able to undercut it and get that hand on the football to knock it away. Forced Eli Manning out of the pocket, having to throw on the run.
The Weatherford with tremendous punch, the last 2, 56 and then 68. Fielded by Johnson at the 23. And DeMaris Johnson, 15-yard return out to the 38-yard line. So good field position for the Eagles, who trail by 15. What a day on Fox Sports. America's Game of the Week coming up, and then Game 4 of the 2013 World Series after the very unconventional win by the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 3 last night. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver will have the call tonight following football, Game 4 of the World Series. Red Sox and Cardinals from Busch Stadium on Fox.
Who do you got tonight, Kenny? Who do you got?
Should be a good one.
Oh, come on, man.
Come on.
Who you liking? Who do you like?
I did predict Red Sox in 6 yesterday.
Okay.
So I'll stick with that.
Okay.
Barkley to McCoy. And McCoy takes it out to the 43-yard line for a gain of 5. What about you, Goose?
I got to go. You know, I think the Red Sox tonight, I think, you know, after last night, they got to be a little bit upset. You know, had an opportunity slip away from them. And I like them tonight.
You told me yesterday you think a team that wears red will win the World Series.
Now, that was your line.
Riley Cooper, who played some baseball in college. In fact, he was drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies. Cooper picks up an Eagles first down. But time winding down on the Eagles. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Barkley on first down, fires complete to Jason Avant. He's tackled by Will Hill. Another Eagles first down at the Giants 36.
And this is the strength for Matt Barkley. You know, he's that pro-style quarterback out of college. You know, let him get back in the pocket, set his back foot. This is a nice throw right into the middle of the field to Jason Avant.
Off the fake to McCoy. Barkley's pass was intended for Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, a little play action with that little speed sweep that they're doing. Now, I think that Matt Barkley felt Deshaun Jackson was going to the outside. This ball was thrown to the outside. Deshaun Jackson was actually breaking toward the middle of the field.
Second and 10. Off the hand of McCoy. Matt Barkley coming on in relief for the second consecutive week. Nick Foles suffering the concussion last week against Dallas. Vic aggravating the hamstring injury today. Barkley directed those 2 long drives after replacing Vick. Eagles had first and goal at the Giants 2, but Barkley was sacked, stripped of the football by Terrell Thomas, and then the Eagles had a 12-play drive to start the second half. Riley Cooper, the intended receiver, and they elected not to attempt the 50-yard field goal, lost it on downs. But since then, not much until this drive.
No. And again, now we're starting to get some of that straight man coverage. Prince Amukamara in good position right there, working against Riley Cooper.
So now another 4th down play for the Eagles. It would be a 54-yard field goal, but they need points. They need 2 touchdowns. So on 4th and 10, it is Barkley to Avant. And there is a flag, and Avant does pick up first down yardage.
Wonder if this, it's going to go against the Eagles.
Yep, it's coming back.
Pass interference, number 81, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Offensive pass interference, Jason Avant.
Working out of your slot.
Yeah, I'd say that was a legitimate penalty.
You know, you're trying to work arm over. Yeah.
You can't hit him 10 yards downfield, do the swim move. I mean, off the line of scrimmage you could, but not 10 yards. Get another opportunity. Just got to make sure it's a little deeper route this time.
And I think Jason Avant wants to know, was it the momentum of the defender going down the field that caused him to go down, or was it my little hand on the back pushing him by?
So it is now 4th down and 20. Eagles must get to the Giants 26 to keep possession. Barkley steps up. Now a short throw. And the Giants will take over on downs. Amukamara wraps up Ertz. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Giants by 15. Back in Philadelphia with producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Giants take over at their 41-yard line, leading the Eagles 15-0. Josh Brown with 5 field goals for the Giants today. On first down at Tillis, out to the 44, gain of 3.
Very impressed with the Giants today. I talked at the top. I wasn't sold on them after the Minnesota game. There was some improvement by the team that night. They've carried that over into this game and really played well in all 3 phases for the football team. There's some of that right there. 312 yards of offense. Almost 12 minutes longer in time of possession.
2nd and 7.
3 down, 95 Mike. 3 down, 95 Mike. 7. 518. 5 touch.
Guys keep it on the ground out to the 46-yard line. Hillis. And the Eagles will use their first timeout with 4:24 on the clock. So the Giants, looking ahead to their bye week, will not play next weekend. Ironically, both of these teams' next opponent is Oakland. Eagles will travel to Oakland next week, and then the Giants will host the Raiders in their next game.
Yeah, so you've got the bye week, you've got Oakland, and then you've got a couple of tough games coming up. You've got the Packers, the Cowboys. We had Washington last week. That's a different team right now. You know, Robert Griffin III is really starting to get back to the player we saw last year.
95 Mike. 95 Mike.
Giants coming off the Monday night win over Minnesota. Dallas leading Detroit early 4th quarter by 10. As Manning is sacked back at the 35-yard line by Fletcher Cox. First sack for the Eagles today.
Just not enough of this afternoon. You know, the Giants' offensive line was able to negate a lot of this pressure, but Fletcher Cox just right up the middle of the field. Eagles call their second timeout.
Eagles will get the ball back with 4:19 remaining, 4th quarter. following the sack of Eli Manning by Fletcher Cox. Pepsi game break coming up following the Giants and the Eagles with Kurt and the gang from Los Angeles. They will get you ready for America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see Eli's brother. This snap will be picked up and taken into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown by Najee Good.
Very surprised by Steve Weatherford not making the correct play on that ball in that situation.
Got to just kick it out of the end zone, right, Darryl?
Yeah. I mean, wow, that thing just sailed on Zach Diassi. Holy smokes. You know, right here, kick it out. I mean, he's looking around trying to define where the defenders are coming after him, runs right over the ball. The one thing you cannot allow to happen in that situation is for Philadelphia to get the touchdown. The safety is okay.
So a huge turn of events. Henry with the extra point. We talked about some of the Giants' issues on special teams. There's Tom Quinn, their special teams coach, along with Tom Coughlin. Najee Good scoops it up and takes it in for an Eagles touchdown.
I mean, the snap just sailed on Zach Diassi. Now you're going to watch this one. I mean, Steve Weatherford, he's going to turn and start running immediately. I mean, he doesn't have a shot to even jump up and try and field that.
Yeah, way over his head.
But at this point, you're just thinking safety. Let me get out of here with just giving up 2 points. And one thing I cannot allow to have happen is for the Eagles to get that touchdown.
And if he kicks it through the back of the end zone, it's a safety, and then the Eagles would get the ball on a free kick. But instead, it is now a one-score game.
Got one timeout, Darryl.
And the 2-minute warning.
And the 2-minute warning.
They got plenty of time, Goose.
Yeah,
Their defense just needs to come out and make a stand. I do not think you go onside at this point. One timeout, the 2-minute warning.
It's Antrell Roll, who's been tremendous for the Giants today, who comes up with the attempted onside kick.
It's a one-possession game. Yeah, you're going to have to go for 2 points if you score the touchdown, but you've got time to kick the ball deep and play some defense. Your defense just came off one of the better series they've had here in the second half. I don't like this decision here. One timeout, 2-minute warning, roll the dice, kicking it deep. It's very, very difficult to execute the onside kick.
There's Zach Diassi.
I do a few more right now.
Hey, he struggled today. He had an illegal snap earlier, moving the ball, trying to draw the defense offside, and now that snap right over Steve Weatherford's head.
Two-time Pro Bowler having his issues today. Now a short field for the Giants following the onside kick attempt. Hillis to the Philadelphia 43, and the Eagles will use their final timeout. Stop the clock with 4:02 remaining. Coming up following the Giants and Eagles, it will be America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Broncos and the Redskins, or the Falcons and the Cardinals. Doubleheader action on Fox. Then the OT and Game 4 of the World Series, Red Sox and Cardinals.
And what do they call that quadruple bill, Kenny? Foxtoberfest?
That's right. Huge day of sports action here on Fox. Second down and 6. Peyton Hillis. Hillis down to the Eagles 40. So the Giants now facing a 3rd down and 2. Eagles have used all 3 of their timeouts.
Big play right here, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, because you're not in field goal range right here. You're going to get the ball back, and you've got the 2-minute warning to stop the clock.
You're going to stop Hillis. You better not tackle him up near his shoulders. You better go and take his legs out and tackle him nice and low. because he falls forward for 2 yards and they stop him every time on that line of scrimmage. Let's see what the Eagles do here.
Play clock at 1. And the Giants again unable to get the snap away in
Delay
time.
of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
A huge penalty, second time that the Giants have been called for delay of game, and it stops the clock.
This is bizarre here in the second half. We saw them down in the red zone where they couldn't get lined up. They couldn't get their motion started. I mean, they've been pressed down to the 2-minute. They're in trouble again right now.
11 Giants penalties. So 3rd and 2 becomes 3rd down and 7. Giants must get to the Eagles 38 for a first down, and they do. It's the tight end, Brandon Myers. A huge play for the Giants. New set of downs, and the Eagles cannot stop the clock.
Really nice separation. Watch the stick move. He's working one-on-one. Hey, you know, Michael Kendricks is going to get up. He's looking at the officials. But in a critical situation, you're thinking Hakeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, and it ends up being Brandon Myers that really makes a huge play here for the Giants to secure this.
Giants only have to run one play prior to the 2-minute warning. It's a handoff to Hillis. Hillis to the Eagles 34. As time winds down with the Giants leading by 8.
This is a great story for Peyton Hillis, a guy who had a great season with the Cleveland Browns. He's back at his ranch hanging out, gets the phone call a couple weeks ago, comes in, is really very effective in their win against the Minnesota Vikings, especially in the passing game. And now here, he's got his legs underneath him. They probably don't feel like Jello anymore, Kenny, and they had a nice day running the football.
Big day for Hillis, 68 yards on the ground, 3 receptions, Giants by 8. Well, the Giants have not won on the road since last October. In Dallas, 8 straight road losses. Eagles have dropped their last 9 here at home. Giants by 8. Eagles, no timeouts remaining as Hillis is taken down at the 35-yard line by Clifton Gathers.
Yeah, you get beat right across the face of the offensive lineman. Watch number 90. He's going to win that battle right across.
Yeah, little slant right there, right into the backfield, right where Hillis is going.
I am still so surprised that now it's potentially going to be 10 games since the Eagles have won at home. It was such a difficult environment to play in. That is so shocking to me. This fan base, it was so hard to win a football game here.
Huge play here, 3rd down and 9. It's Hillis to the 32. So do you attempt a 50-yard field goal to make it an 11-point game? What do you do here?
Well, your kicker's had a heck of an afternoon, but it's going to go to the spot of the kick. You've got explosive players on the Eagles offense. I think you take as much time as you possibly can. I would try, as good as Weatherford's been punting right now, I'd try to get him down inside the 10, the 5-yard line.
Brown, the place kicker, took 2 steps onto the field. Then he headed back. He's waiting. Tom Coughlin thinking about it. He will use a timeout as the clock winds down. Now 5 on the play clock. So the clock will be stopped here with 36 seconds. And we'll check in with Joel Klatt. Joel?
All right, thanks, Kenny. And we take you to Detroit, where Dez Bryant finds this one on the sidelines. A great move down the rail. Dez Bryant gets to the end zone for the 2nd time today. Dallas takes a 27-17 lead. We will take you to this ball game at the conclusion of yours, Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, thanks, Joel. So here's the situation. Giants can either attempt a 50-yard field goal to ice it, or they could send out Weatherford. So it will be Weatherford heading out. Giants setting up in punt formation to try and pin the Eagles, which he did beautifully twice earlier in this second half.
Yeah, I like this decision.
Otherwise, if you miss the field goal, Eagles have a short field. They would take over on the 40 and have to go only 60 yards now they will have to go about 84.
I know that Tom Coughlin would have liked to have seen that executed a lot better. You didn't have a return man down there. That should have been down inside the 10, the 5-yard line, which would be your ideal, but we'll see what they can do right here. Matt Barkley coming out.
No timeouts, 27 seconds. Barkley replaced the injured Michael Vick in the second quarter. Going up against a Giants defense that has played extremely well once again. The only Eagles touchdown today came on special teams. Giants have 4 sacks. Coming into this game, only Jacksonville had allowed more points than the Giants. From the 16-yard line, pressure from Tuck as Barkley throws it out of bounds. He was looking for Deshaun Jackson. Clock stops with 22 seconds remaining.
And amazing to me that we're at a point right now where the potential for this team to be shut out offensively, scoring touchdowns 2 weeks in a row.
Last time the Giants won a game without scoring a touchdown, you have to go back to 2002 against Seattle. Second down and 10. Barkley looking, pump fakes. Now he fires downfield for Jackson. It is picked off. Will Hill comes up with the interception for the Giants. It's the 3rd Eagles turnover, and now the Giants can celebrate.
This is well played by Will Hill because Matt Barkley is trying to move the safeties. He's got 2 vertical routes down the right side. You're going to have verticals here and here. He's trying to put the safety in a tough spot there by looking him off to the left. Will Hill stays in good position and is able to make the break on the ball and intercept it.
First career pick for Hill, who grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey. Eli Manning takes a knee. Giants win their 2nd straight. Heading into the bye week, there's Hill celebrating with Roll, who had a pick and a sack earlier. Giants go to 2-6 after starting the season 0-6. Eagles drop to 3-5. Coming up, bonus coverage of the Cowboys and the Lions. So long from Philadelphia.